Yesterday, in the evening, I had a guy from UK interviewing me about my life. Took more than 1 hour and a half. That's all right. It was okay. But about my life, I feel I know it. So I don't know if it was exciting or not. I was just reflecting on what I have done. And he asked this question and the question. So I don't think I learned anything new about myself, but just to confirm what I've done. At the end, he asked me a question: what do I want my legacy to be? And after just a little bit of thinking, I said, nothing. Maybe that's boring, but that's the feeling I have. I think I've done lots of things coming from Japan. He didn't ask me about the younger days. I think that would have been an interesting question. How I felt about the world and what would be the future and how I relate with people. He didn't ask me about the marriage and the friends and the important person affected me. I did some of that, but that encounter would be the most important, or yes, and the interesting part. Like, I do this YouTube and sharing ideas and the feedback of people, the comments, questions. That's the most interesting part for me. Also, I didn't mention my, how do we call this, basic character, a question I have, which is I'm curious about why people do what they do and why I do what I do. That's about the character of the person and how the decision's made. It's not philosophical. It's just to get the nature of the person, how they grow, what are the important, interesting event of life and how it changed the course of life. Yeah. He's got his idea of asking certain question. I don't know. Plus, I didn't check the background as much. But he seemed to interview a bunch of people and share the result on the internet. His name is David Kiss, and you can find it probably. I just glanced through and watched one or two and didn't prepare anything, but it's funny. I'm thinking like this as I talk. I interviewed lots of people. So questioning is the interesting part of it. So anyway, I felt just realizing it, some of those questions that I mentioned, that I may have more interest about myself and how I developed the character and what I did, where I did and why. And those are the flow, how do you call it, events that formed and the critical moment when things happen to make a certain decision. I mentioned that, but that's wasn't deep enough, but I maintained for more than 1.5, more or less, and not bored. That was pretty much it. Maybe I'll think more later, because this kind of event may not happen as much, except knowing myself and what to do and how to make a decision. That's the critical thing that I think about, and have some principle way to go over issues. Anyway, I thought I'd just capture what happened yesterday with this interview. Yeah, I guess I didn't learn anything more about myself. But I think I may have answered questions just in the conceptual. This happened, this is a feeling, why, that kind of a process. There were some issues about, because I was interested in interaction with people. So there's some discussion that related to the growth process. Maybe I'll just point this one was the reason that is relating to what I do with this YouTube video, because his main concern was, why did I do so much videos over the last 16, 17 years? 6.5 thousand. That's a big number, he said. But I guess I'm a curious guy. And also wanting to be sincere and truthful, that helped me to question myself. And the questioning is a way of knowing person, which I did many years with the companies that I visited. All sorts of people I met in different countries. So in that sense, maybe people may find it interesting that this guy, introvert in Japan, didn't know what to do, wanted to find out what the life is and how people live outside of the US. Yeah, I think we talked about it. So how can I explain this? That in that exchange of the ideas is important process, and more we do with each other, more we know about who I am and what the world is, and so forth. So we had a discussion about the current world, how people are living, and the point of interest perhaps because he is doing something somewhat similar to interview people, which I did in my life for 40 some years, that get to know people, why they do what they do, and being able to go beyond the boundaries, so to speak. Like I mentioned about my first part is to move from Japan to the US, and he asked me why, and because of the curiosity, I said, and because of the difference there is by going through that kind of experience enriches me to see the world from different angle. Yeah, we talked about that, and that is one of the key driving force or interest or curiosity that made me to dig deeper into it, also to know myself, which is the point I went into Zen after being in the US, being in Japan, doing engineering, doing business, and then much further. So I think you can say that I didn't fit in the society. That's why I kept on curious, doing more and different things as much as possible. And I think one of the points there, now I remember some of the highlight of the discussion perhaps, is that the important part is to go over the barriers. And I was talking not just the national barriers, even orient to the the Western world and different work. So, but within the company too, and within any setting, there's always a group and various groups, and often they don't communicate each other. And that has been the main reason of my helping the company, so that the people communicate each other. And that's empowerment and the questioning, exchange of ideas, and having fun, and find the discovery. Yes, I talked about it. And we had interesting conversation on that. That he was also the kind, not just staying in the UK, but going beyond, and not get stuck in a silo that develop a view but don't relate to other view of the world, of the people, of the group, or something like that. And that is an issue related to how the world is shifting, and how we see the future, and we may need to go beyond just being in the herd, the group, with certain value, and other people in the other group. So point is, how do we communicate each other? So I explained this thought, which is, I use the tree analogy of life, and each branch grows as if it's each species of living being, or a species within humanity, that they develop different branches. But there's a need to communicate to each other, because we are sharing the same resources we got. And then we come from the same origin, so what is common may need to be understood instead of looking at the differences or ignoring the difference, but being in the herd, a group with certain value and locked in. So I move around, check different branches, talk with people, and to see, isn't there a need for mutual understanding, connection, and the values, and knowing how we become different. Each person is different. So the idea of the mini company and the mini me related to that. I think we did have the discussion. Yeah, that's right. That's important. Yeah, maybe that's enough, because I just wanted to pick up. Maybe I was just looking for the impact and deep interest that I have, and I may have touched on those key issues, what drives me and what I see the humanity can work together, but may become different species, varieties of species, kind of argument. And then also I talked about the AI, but he said the video may be available sometime in April. He's producing various other videos and preparing, so it takes some time. But hope it has some value, and I may be able to take a look at myself a little bit. I don't know if I want to look at myself and talking for 1 hour and a half, but he said he's gonna send me the whole package when it's done. But he said he's gonna just post it without any editing, so that might be good. That's what happened in the evening yesterday. You have a good day. I mean it. Make the most. Thank you.